had 1 month to create a game for my sister's birthday. Here's what I created. I will be using Unity for this project because it is what I know best. And I would not call myself a great developer, so what I make might not be the best it could be. My sister, aka Luminary, drew me characters that I was required to use somewhere in the game. The first one I got was a snail, so I decided to make it the main character. Personally, I am not good at drawing, but I wanted to make some of my own assets for the game, so I started making some pixel art tiles to use in Unity's tile system. I had not used Unity's tile system before this, so I had to learn how it worked for this project. I made some basic tiles in an art software called Krita, and placed them around to see how they would look. I did not want to spend too much time on making art, because I needed to work on the actual gameplay of the game. During the first 2 weeks, I worked on the game a little bit every day, until I started to realize I was not going to finish in time at this rate, so I started putting more hours in. I spent my free time away from my computer planning what to put in the game, and the other time actually working on it. After talking with some friends about what I should make, I decided to create a story RPG game where you complete quests, defeat enemies, and eventually defeat the Demon King who stole your party hat and reclaim it in time for your party. Since all I really know how to do is code, I asked friends to make the art and music for the game. First, meet the artists, Mr. Monocle and Chloe. Mr. Monocle made the basic enemies and bosses for the game, while Chloe spent more time making a more detailed final boss. Next, the composers, Demon_Chicken_ and Moral Lexus. Demon made the fighting and final boss themes. And Moral Lexus has made the amazing background music you have been listening to. Without these people, I would not have been able to complete this game with a reasonable quality. Now, back to my part of the game. I drew a basic house for an NPC to stay in, and added an interaction system to enter the house. I decided to make the first NPC the player encountered this mushroom guy, which was the second character I was required to use in the game. I then created a dialogue system so the player can talk to the NPC, and later get quests. I expanded the map, adding a bigger grass area, a snow area, a beach area, an underwater area, and finally a final boss arena. For the RPG aspect of the game, I added a skill tree to unlock and upgrade abilities and player stats, and a level system to gain the skill points required to use the skill tree. For abilities, I planned on adding a projectile, a snail trail, a dash, a block, and minions. I took a break from making gameplay, and instead, worked on making the gameplay feel better. I added the snail blinking, a bow tie to the snail, and a shoot animation, all drawn by Mr. Monocle. I wanted to add collectibles and secrets to the game, but I didn't have time. So I just added a secret area somewhere in the map where a chest can be found with a special item inside. After this, I worked on adding the abilities and decided to add extra upgrades where you can only pick one for each ability, and it would provide a special effect to that ability like fire or slow. I then added a quest system that required the player to kill enemies, level up, use abilities, etc. At this point, there was 1 day left, and I was very much running out of time. I had been putting off making the enemies until the final day because I didn't think it would take that long, but I was very wrong. I wanted 2 different enemies and a boss in each area, and I didn't plan out much. In the grass area, I added 2 different types of slimes, with the boss being a rhino. The rest you can figure out when you play the game yourself. After adding the enemies, I gave them health bars, and started coding the enemy attacks. I created an enemy dash attack, projectile attack, melee attack, AoE attack, and summon attack. I implemented the music, created a main menu, I decided to name the game Snail's Journey, and created a pause screen with a quest menu and a volume slider. What is that? 2 new characters I need to use? I already finished the rest of the game. Where am I gonna put them? Well, the Demon King summons them now. By the time I finished all the enemies, it was 2 AM on my sister's birthday, and the game had not been playtested. I went to sleep anyway. When I woke up, I immediately got Mr. Monocle to playtest the game while I fixed all the problems he was actively encountering. Eventually, the game got to a point that was good enough to show my sister. Time for the moment of truth. Will she like it? She liked it. The showcase only ran into some minor problems I don't really need to talk about. Overall, I enjoyed making Snail's journey. I learned a lot about Unity's tile system and general game development. If you want to try out the game, I'll release it alongside a trailer at a later date, when I fix some final bugs. Like and subscribe if you want to see more videos on my game development, when I get around to it, or some speedrunning. I would really appreciate it. Thanks again to the people who helped out: Mr. Monocle, Demon_Chicken_, Moral Lexus, Chloe, and finally my sister Luminary. That's it for this video. I do have 2 games released on itch.io, an exploration game called Beyond the Doors, and an idle game called Material Upgrade Tree. If you want to play these games, you can find the links in my YouTube bio. That's it. Bye.